The information shared on the Self-Care with Gene Edelman podcast, including the Kitchen with Gene series, is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor or qualified healthcare professional before beginning any diet or nutrition plan to ensure it is appropriate for your individual health needs and circumstances.
Hi, I'm Gene Edelman. For decades, I've been a student of the healing arts: Reiki, traditional Chinese medicine, homeopathy, acupuncture, plant-based, and macrobiotic cooking. Join me on this journey and hear my thoughts of the week. Welcome back to the kitchen. It's July and I hope we're having fun. Are we grilling? Are we at the beach? What are we doing that's making it fun and enjoying the summer? I hope you have a long list. I want to add to our summer dinners or lunches, our summer dishes. We've had fun with soups and our nice summer soups with the heat. I hope you're making something that's cool and refreshing. And hopefully you are practicing your salads. But now let's talk about dressings. Dressings and sauces. Our dressings and sauces help bring more flavor out in our food. Our blender is definitely going to be our friend in this practice because we usually want a nice creamy texture. Some of the tricks for a creamy sauce or a creamy dressing could be soaking cashews overnight and then the next morning blending them with some water and then some other fun ingredients to make a fun creamy cashew dressing. We can do the same with almonds, blending everything till it's smooth, creamy in texture, and then adding all of our other flavors. But I digress. Let us dive into sauces and dressings. As with our salads, there are components to creating these wonderful enhancements to our dishes. The base can be either water to thin something out. A lot of times I will use organic apple juice to bring a bit of sweetness, but we can use orange juice. We can use whatever we want. We could use cranberry juice. We could use some fresh lemons. The sky is the limit, but there's always a base to our dressing or sauce. And then we look at our flavors. What do we want to flavor it with? Usually there's lemon. Do we want it sweet, where we want some dates in it, or maybe some maple syrup? Do we want it light and crisp, maybe with some, as I shared, some lemons or lemon juice, or maybe some tangerines, a nice tangerine juice? Again, the flavors, the sky is the limit. And then we don't want to forget our fresh herbs. We can always throw in some parsley, fresh basil, cilantro, or dill, whatever you love. And there's spices. I'm not a spice person, but there's always ways to kick things up. And so always have that in mind. And then when we're talking about our sauces or dressings, there could always be a fruit or a vegetable component. So for instance, we could have cucumber or avocado as a base of our dressing or sauce, or we could have watermelon to make it really fresh, and we could have strawberries. So we just are talking components. What do we want in our sauce or dressing? The key is to be creative, and the key is to not be afraid. So let me just give you some examples. Maybe you'd like to try a miso almond sauce. And this is basically blending some sweet white miso, some almond butter, and a cup of water. Blending it in our blender, making it creamy and smooth. Add a dash of salt if you need some salt. And then use it over our veggies, our grains, anything. Another example could be a pumpkin seed dressing. I make this a lot and I change it a lot and it's always fun. But my base is apple juice, and then one of my components are pumpkin seeds, which I've toasted. I always throw in usually some herbs, This time I made it with fresh parsley. Love to use my lemon, so there's always fresh lemon, and maybe a tablespoon of mustard. Again, blend until smooth. Use over your veggies, grains, and salads. Another of my go-tos are tahini dressing. I really do like tahini. And so if you want to mix up a half a cup of tahini with a quarter cup of lemon juice, throw in some herbs, throw it in the blender. This is a wonderful dressing to put over maybe a noodle salad. It's just creamy and zesty, and it's really fun to have around in the summer. How about an avocado dressing? So our base would be a ripe avocado. Our components would be olive oil. We could throw in some balsamic vinegar, some fresh lemon, and using some miso. And if we throw it in the blender, if we need it to be a little bit thicker, we could use a little bit of water. This is a wonderful, beautiful dressing to put on a fresh green salad with lots of veggies. And then my last example is a strawberry dressing. How about we clean up some strawberries, throw it in the blender with a half a cup of apple juice and a quarter cup of lemon juice and a tablespoon of mustard. Blend it until smooth. If the consistency isn't what you want, add a little bit more water, add a little bit more apple juice. But enjoy. The key is to enjoy. The key is to be creative. And so our action item for the week is to play, to practice and be creative. Let our food guide some of our dressings and our sauces. So when we are playing and being creative with our sauces and dressings, just think about your components. You have a base, you have your flavors, you have herbs, you have spices, you have a vegetable or fruit compote to it, and creativity is the key. So have fun, play. I want to hear about what you're creating, and I'm going to send these recipes to you. And I hope you have a lot of fun this week putting some sauces and dressings on your salads and all of your other vegetable dishes. Next week on Self-Care with Jean, I'm sharing a heartfelt story about horses, that deep connection that they offer and the healing that they bring us. We all know the deep connection we have with all animals, especially horses. I'll share an experience I had this spring with an equine-assisted program. It reminded me just how healing and heart-opening our time with our animals can be. If you've ever loved a horse or have been curious about these amazing, beautiful animals, check out the episode next week. You're going to love hearing about horses. Remember, dear friends, that we're in Earth School. The lesson is to love ourselves, and to love each other, and to remember life is coming from us and life is for us. Have a wonderful time in the kitchen creating your summer dressings and sauces.